Well, it's Saturday, October 4th, 2025, about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and I'm out for my afternoon walk. I've taken to walking daily lately because one of the side effects of all the steroids I took for my skin condition, autoimmune skin condition, was that my right leg has gotten badly swollen. And it seems that walking helps with that. It gets the blood circulating and the muscles flexing, kind of pumps fluid out of my leg. So I'm doing that every day. Not going far right now, maybe half, 3/4 of a mile, and then but it is helping. So today, where am I? Well, I am over at the Seawall Picnic Area in Acadia National Park here on Mount Desert Island, Maine. We're looking out over the Gulf of Maine. Those are the Duck Islands, and that's Great Cranberry Island. So I'm gonna walk the length of this picnic area. It's a little crowded today. 4, 6, yeah, probably about 20 cars here. I thought I might walk one of the trails today, but Wonderland and Ship Harbor had over 60 cars parked at the trailheads, and I really didn't feel like dodging that many people. So over here, car behind me, so we'll walk up here to one of the picnic tables and take a look around. There are 2 picnic tables at this end of the picnic area, and then a bunch more in the other end. Now this picnic area is open all year. They keep the road clear down to this end, so you can come here any time of the year, which is kind of nice. And we'll go up. This picnic table is not occupied. The next one over is. So I'll sit up here and we'll look out over the ocean a little bit. Okay. Well, right across there, that little peninsula is where the Wonderland Trail goes to, and that's Gotts Island across from it. So it's pretty nice out here today. It's almost hot. It was 70 degrees when I left home, and I think it's warmer than that here, and there's a nice light breeze. The tide is out. As you can see, all the dark colored rocks are underwater at high tide. So it's nice here. A lot of tourists out there on the rocks, gulls, and a few tourists over here on the rocks. And this is quite a pleasant place to come. In the winter and the off season, it's a very popular place for people who have a lunch break to come out here and park and look out over the ocean while they have their lunch. So anyway, what I thought I would talk about today is just want to get down from here. Since I'm out here for a walk, I'm not going to sit anywhere for very long. Anyway, what I wanted to talk about today is a video I just watched on Buzz's Retirement Garage. I follow a few people who do retirement-oriented videos, not the ones by financial planners who are basically trying to sell you their services or get you to buy a product, one of the planning software products, but just people who, you know, come across as normal people and talk a little bit about, you know, their experience in retirement. And most of the time, those discussions are centered around finances. Not always, but sometimes they are. And today, on Buzz's Retirement Garage, Buzz was asking the question, can you use artificial intelligence as a financial planner? So I thought I would try it out by asking one of the most important retirement decisions that you could ever have. You know, asking if it was a good idea and can I afford it? So what I did was just put in a little bit about my finances and asked, can I afford to buy a new yacht? And the AI program thought about it for a second or so and told me that yes, I could afford to buy a new yacht, and but before I pull the trigger, I need to be aware of the costs of yacht ownership. And I'll come back to that in a second. Right here is a gate. In about a month, they're going to close this gate, and the other end of the picnic area is closed in the winter. Over there is the restroom. It is normally closed in the winter as well. And we'll look out over the water again. Very calm, light air day out there. Large areas of flat water. So anyway, you know, the AI program listed a whole bunch of things that I need to consider to determine if I can afford to buy a new yacht. They were mostly associated with, you know, operating and maintaining the yacht. And basically, it used a standard, 100% standard estimate of 10% of the purchase price in annual expenses. But then when it went in and listed the specifics, I thought I was watching one of my own videos on the topic. Because basically it listed everything that I have said you need to be aware of. And yeah, so that brought me to a conclusion about using an AI program to help you with financial decisions. And that went back to the old adage from the early days of computing, GI-GO, which stands for garbage in, garbage out, since AI is only as good as the input data, and as such, if the input data isn't any good, and I have no idea where the AI program I asked got its data, but it sounded like it got it from a standard brokerage website, and which of course is skewed toward having you make the decision to buy a yacht. So yeah, so I don't think that the AI program made the decision for me, particularly in that it told me that yes, I could afford to buy a $2 million yacht. Now, going back to garbage in, garbage out, I may have fudged my finances a little bit. In other words, garbage in. And I got garbage out because there's no way I could afford to buy a $2 million yacht. Anyway, we're down at the far end of the road in the picnic area. There's a loop here, a little parking area that we'll walk by on the way back. And then there's a little trail here with a few more picnic tables. Some are right next to the ocean, and some are set back in the woods a little. Okay, here's one over here, right up on the edge of the ocean. And there's a couple up here with people sitting on them. This trail doesn't go much further, so I'm just going to go up and take another short break up at this picnic table. Okay, we're just about there. All right, not a bad spot to have a picnic lunch. Looking out, that's a lobster boat fishing out there. And there's a sailboat over there who's sailing in between Mount Desert Island, where we are now, and Great Cranberry Island. As you can see, it's not very choppy out there. We're just about at the end of the picnic area. Over there, all those rocks, you can see a car driving across. That is the seawall here that was overwashed back in January and February of 24, and the road was badly torn up and closed for several months. But there's plenty of parking over there. You can stop and walk out onto the rocks down to the water. I wouldn't walk down to the rocks here. The black color is mostly seaweed. There's no point, and it's quite slippery. And if you just wait a little while, the water will be much closer, where the rocks change from dark color to light. That is pretty much the boundary. Okay, so pretty day out here. Much warmer than I expected. The wind is over the land here, which warms it up. If it was coming off the water, it'd probably be 10 degrees colder, but it isn't, so very pretty day out there. And you can see some of the homes over on Great Cranberry Island. They'll be emptying out. Great Cranberry has about 5 times as many people in the summer as it does in the winter, and most of those homes that look right out over the water will be empty for the winter, unless of course the people come maybe over New Year's or something like that. Okay, so let's head back, since I did come to go for a walk. The rocks here aren't bad walking, a little unstable, and my right leg, which is still badly swollen, is not very stable for walking on these rocks. Okay, So this is a nice place to come. I don't usually walk the whole thing, but today is a good day for it. It's, as I said, a pretty day, warm for October, and not particularly windy. We're planning, I hope, to take the boat out tomorrow and spend the night on a mooring. Our mooring suffered a mishap. The pickup buoy apparently broke and floated away. So have to use like a 10-foot boat hook to snag the mooring pin, which is hanging straight down from the buoy. And that's difficult. So we're going to borrow a friend's mooring and stay out on the mooring for the night. That is, of course, unless my wife sees that there's fog in the forecast for tonight. If that happens, we probably won't go. That's okay. Okay, here's the little parking area over here, where there's room for about 7 or 8 cars. Alrighty, I'm going to shut the camera off as I walk past these people. Okay, I don't like to include people in my videos if I can avoid it, because they may not want to be on YouTube. Alrighty, so we're just going to walk back to my truck, and I'm going to move on and maybe go someplace else for a little bit more walking. It's almost too hot today to walk. I'm actually getting a little bit sweaty. And here's another picnic table with a nice view out over the water, and 2 more. As I said, in the off season, it's very popular for local people to come and sit in their cars looking out over the ocean while eating their lunch. And I have to confess, I have done that a few times myself. Okay, just about back, and then we'll head over for someplace else. If I don't go to walk anyplace else, I'll say thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed seeing the scenery from the Seawall Picnic Area here in Acadia National Park on the southern end of Mount Desert Island, Maine.